Thanks, Courtney. It's a great pleasure to be emceeing this again this year for the Hall of Fame part of our program. As you remember, it was a new initiative we established last year, thanks to input we have from different folks, and most importantly, Courtney gave us the encouragement to go ahead and do something that was always on our mind, to recognize and memorialize the legends that built Nitro. We've had a great committee that's helped along the way define the Hall of Fame concept, lay out the initial criteria, and help choose both the initial class last year as well as our second class, a great class this year. That committee included Al Cotton, Nelson Nagai, Rick Husk, Amy Scammon, James O'Gorman, Rob Brand, Bill Muldoon, Jack McCabe, Jim Goodman, and always under the watchful eye and incredible help of Mary Venuti, who always seems to put all this stuff together. So, in summary, it's pretty simple. We want to bestow this honor on individuals who, by their long-term dedication and extraordinary accomplishments, have contributed to the foundation and long-term success of Nitro. Specifically, if you look at criteria, we try and think about the individuals worked at Nitro or contributed in some sort of critical advisory way for a minimum of 20 years, although we're going to broaden that for 15 years for our folks in Asia because it's so critical what they've done over there. They demonstrated outstanding commitment and devotion to Nitro. They made tangible contributions to the culture and growing Nitro into one of the leading injection molders of the last half century. They have to be retired for at least 5 years and coming from all parts of the Nitro world. So the recognition involves a little trophy that's a replica of the old mill building. It's, there's a kiosk now that we've set up in the library thanks to Radius and some other folks. I think we have a picture of that somewhere here. Yeah, a kiosk that looks like this with everybody's name, and it rotates around, so we've got to add a couple new inductees. We also have a proclamation from the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, signed by the Speaker of the House and the local rep, Harold Naughton. We try and make it pretty special for folks. And this was the class from last year, our initial class: Nick Esnoyan, Maria Bates, Dick Dearborn, Pete Easley, Fred Kirk, Gordon Langton, Joe Parody, and Frank Woods. And I want to stress that while this is recognizing the legacy of many great people who helped define Nitro and played a critical role in shaping the culture and the success of our company, it isn't meant to only be a look backwards nostalgically at an era gone by. But with it, and I think in Courtney's encouragement, we think about the qualities that endear and make a company a sustainable long-term company. And the new Nitro J-Ball, we want to see those same attributes and recognize people not just from our past, but going well into the future. And I think that by highlighting the key attributes that made the people who have already been in the Hall of Fame or are getting in, they help remind us of those qualities, the timeless qualities that have made and will continue to make Nitro and Jabil successful. And that includes things like an incredible commitment to people and the employees, a fanaticism in taking care of our customers, an attention to detail and excellence on the manufacturing floor, a real focus on innovation, technology, and strong engineering know-how to solve our customers' most demanding challenges, integrity and work ethic. And so we want to keep reminding that while we're looking backwards at people who epitomize that, it's still critical for our success going forward to remember those timeless qualities. So with that as a backdrop, let's hear about the 5 members of the second Hall of Fame class. And I'll say it was really difficult keeping it to just 5. There's so many deserving people. But ultimately, we tried to go with a group of people who started before 1980 in the Nitro world. We're going to continue to extend this. There's going to be a lot more good people in the future. We're fortunate in a couple cases tonight to have the individuals here in attendance. In the other situations where either the individual has passed away or is unable to attend, we have family members that are here in attendance, and I'll recognize them. So I'm going to ask the honoree, or if applicable, a family member to come up, receive the plaque, and maybe just say a few words of whatever on your mind about this. And so we look forward to that. And so with that as a backdrop, and I think we gave away a little bit because of the suspense, because the booklets are all on everyone's table. And people are walking around with Hall of Fame inductee on their name tags, but other than the suspense is lost. Dotty Gannon. Dotty joined NIPRO in December 1972 in anticipation of opening the old mill building. She started separating pieces for the finishing department in a former appliance store NIPRO had rented at 360 High Street to prepare for the opening. In April 1973, Dotty became the first NIPRO employee to work in the former Bigelow carpet factory at 101 Union Street when it opened as its headquarters. As the finishing department expanded in its new space, it was renamed Spectrum with Dotty as the supervisor. She then became the supervisor of Scoremore. Before it was sold, she went back to Spectrum and Material Control and was promoted to the supervisor of NP Medical Clean Room in 1981. And so many people after that knew Dotty, inextricably linked with NP Medical and all the success and history. She retired as the production manager there in 2000. Dotty was one of those people who made NIPRO. When the old mill opened in 1973 with no heat but orders to be filled, Dotty didn't complain but found cardboard boxes to keep her feet warm. As NIPRO developed the old mill building and townspeople became curious, Dotty was the one who helped reach out and establish a tour program and become one of the first guides. She recognized how important it was for the company to be part of the town it worked in, and she wanted to show that in a real way. She did the original research and raised funds for the NIPRO weather vane, which we just heard about, that Ralph ultimately designed and is miniaturized on our Hall of Fame trophy. Employees who work for and with her, particularly the women workers, still think of her as a mother to them, whose personal warmth and caring helped them to become successful in the early years of manufacturing in Clinton. I remember Dotty, when I joined in 1988, and by then you realize the old timers and often the new guys weren't accepted readily. But Dotty was never one of those. She had a warm and opening, inviting smile and just made me feel like I was at home from day one, and just a wonderful, wonderful person. Dotty passed away, but we were so fortunate to have her son, Tony, here, who also taught with Cecily Marshall, I learned, and went to school with some of the Caffarelli nieces. And his wife could not be here, but Brett and Owen and Regan, these are three grandsons, and Ian and Regan, the granddaughter. As they thought about who would speak, Tony didn't want any part of it. It kept going down the path. So the little sister was first nominated, who knew Dotty for all of 3 months. But they finally let Regan off the hook, and Brad, who's at Holy Cross, decided he'd be the one to come up and say something on behalf of the family. So Brad, you want to come on up here? Dotty Gannon.
I lost my grandmother when I was 8 years old, so many of the memories I have of her in NIPRO are naturally seen through an 8-year-old's eyes. I remember wishing she didn't have to go to meetings at night because it meant that I couldn't spend the night with her again, probably for about the 3rd time that week. I remember wondering why she didn't have summers off like I did. I remember my school bus going down Union Street and trying to see if I could see her through the windows of the mill. And I actually, looking at this, it brings back memories because I think I convinced myself that this was her office. And as a lot of those memories kind of have faded away over the last 13 years, my memories of her, I still think of her every time I drive by that old mill. And I think that that story is not one that's unique to me. It's a story that you'll hear from many Clintonians, that when they see that mill, they think of NIPRO as a force of good in their lives and in the lives of others. And if I've learned one thing today, it's that NIPRO would be nothing without the employees. And so I want to thank all of you for this and for keeping her memory alive, because NIPRO was everything to her and she was everything to us.